Okay, so thank you. Could we start by just saying who you are and what you do at the university?
Yeah, sure. My name's James Westwood. I'm the Students' Union President. I have been for a number of months, and previously to that I was Vice President. So that involves a lot of talking to students, getting research from students, and just making sure we're representing them and having the time at Newman that they came to have, and yeah, they feel fairly represented.
Thank you very much. First question is, from your understanding and from your experiences, what do you understand by the terms enterprise and entrepreneurship? What do they mean to you?
I think it's a lot of creation and business ideas, very much hard work and innovation as well. I mean, it takes a very motivated and strong person to be able to start an enterprise and become an entrepreneur. As it doesn't even have to be a big idea, it can just be a smallest idea that can just continue to grow and grow. I think it's a very tough couple of words for students sometimes to understand. You know, you can say enterprise and entrepreneurship to students and they can instantly back away and think, oh, that's not for me. But I think anyone can get involved in it, and it can help students to grow within themselves as well. So I don't think there are phrases that students should be afraid of. So
Great, thank you. So actually, the next question is enterprise and entrepreneurship something that Newman universities do actually get involved with, or should they be more involved in, from your experiences?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone should at least consider it. I mean, it's something that shows a great determination within someone to be able to come across and set up their own enterprise and actually have that initial idea, and it shows that drive that they would have. It's something that can look amazing on someone's personal profile, on their CV, to show that they've had that sort of creativity and that interest and motivation to create something that they can be proud of and that they can show off and say they've managed. It's just really beneficial for someone. I think everyone should at least consider getting involved with it. You know, someone might have a great idea deep down inside that they're afraid to unleash.
Great.
Yeah.
As the president of the Students' Union and knowing the students at the university, are you aware of any examples of students that have done enterprise? Or
I've had a couple of starter sort of questions from students that have had a couple of ideas. They're not sure where to go with them, they're not sure what to do with them. Mainly perhaps from the business management course that we have here, but there have been other students from other courses as well. So it'd be good to see some of those actually coming through and getting through the draft process, and hopefully we can start to support some of those, perhaps through an entrepreneurship society, working with staff and students here at Newman. I mean, we bought a glass cabinet. We bought two for the Students' Union last year. One of them to show off any trophies and awards we've got, and one of them was to perhaps encourage students who created things such as maybe small bits of jewellery that they wanted to sell. We had the idea to use the other cabinet for that, so that's still something that we're trying to put through the process at the moment.
Great, lovely. Thank you for that. You mentioned about the Students' Union. How is the Students' Union at Newman involved in enterprise entrepreneurship? You mentioned, are there any sort of initiatives that you've got, or aspirations of things that you would like to do?
I mean, I would like an enterprise society to sort of kick off and start becoming a big society here at Newman, because I do think entrepreneurship is a big thing in the world these days, and I think anything that could be a small idea could be created and grown into a very large idea. So that is one thing I do want to try and get kick-started off the ground, and looking at other universities and seeing what they do. I think is a key thing for us, being such a small university in comparison to a lot of others. I think that's the main thing we can do, and try and get students involved into it and not be as scared as they are of the word entrepreneurship.
Okay. You mentioned other universities. What are you aware of that's going on in other universities?
A couple of big things that I'm aware of. In 2013, I think it was Gloucestershire University Students' Union. A group of students managed to create a Cheltenham chili company, which produces their own jams, which they sell to local businesses. They sell to around campus. They sell in their canteens. and I think they're at a point now where this was in 2013 they created it, and I think they're now at a point where they create 400 jars a semester, so that's going really well, and it's also sustainable, and it teaches students about sustainability, and because they grow all the products on site as well, and they work with different departments about that. Last year at the Students' Union Awards, the Enterprise Award went to Newcastle University Students' Union, and that was because they created a company called Stewbrew, where they created their own beer on site, and they created it with one of their chemical courses, one of their chemical groups, and that is also sold in their bars. It's offered out to sports and societies when they want to do any fundraisers, and they've only been going for a couple of years, and they've had over 400 people volunteer in that and take part in that project. So those are a couple of big things I know have happened at a couple of students' unions, and who's to say we can't come up with our own idea.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much. In that respect, have you had any interest from students at Newman about an enterprise society?
A couple of students have come to me following a discussion they may have had in their course about creating an enterprise society. So hopefully those students have gone away, they've had a little bit of a think about it, a little bit more, maybe a further discussion with their tutor, and hopefully they'll come back to us and we can get that sorted and created before the end of the semester, or if not, maybe next year.
Okay, great. So in that respect, again, as the president of the Students' Union, how do you go about setting up a society? What would students need to do in order to do that?
They can come along and have a chat with us, let us know their initial ideas for a society. I mean, any society idea is a good idea if there's student interest. They need to show us that there is a bit of student interest in there. You know, we're not asking for 50 to 100 signatures, we're asking for less than 10. You know, if 5 students are interested, then we're happy to help them set that up. And then there's just a very simple sheet of paper they need to go through with our societies officer each year to set that up, and they need to come up with someone to be sort of take the lead on the society, so act as a chairperson until we can get the society fully developed, and then an official election happen for them as well, and we're happy to support them from that.
Do you think this is something that Newman University, the Students' Union, is this something that we should be involved in?
I think it can be. I think it just needs to be worked with and managed properly. I mean, at the moment I know we may have struggled with it because there's a lot of stuff going on currently in Newman, and maybe there's not been the amount of time there that can be concentrated onto entrepreneurship, and I think it's one of the things that needs to be perhaps prioritised a little bit more now. You know, the word's slowly getting out there to students, but some students are backing off with it. You know, I think maybe there needs to be a set staff member who can constantly discuss, manage and develop entrepreneurship and enterprise here at Newman, whether that's Students' Union in collaboration with the university, or just the university, or just the Students' Union. I think it's something that can be heavily worked into Newman, along with sustainability as well.
Okay. And of course that will be for all Newman University students, not just those from the business school. And
yeah. I mean, it'd be great to see any students getting involved. You know, it doesn't even have to be a product, a physical product they could be selling. It could be a group of teaching students coming up with some sort of IT program that can be used amongst each other on work placements, and then shared alongside of the universities and unions as well. Yeah, I think anyone and everyone should get involved.
Right. You say everyone should really get involved. What would be the benefits for students of being involved in enterprise or entrepreneurship?
I mean, I think there's the option there to constantly meet new people. It helps to develop your own creativity as you're constantly bouncing ideas off similar-minded people who are also motivated and driven to kind of come out with that end product. And just it's a great thing to have on a CV and on a personal development plan that you've been involved in entrepreneurship and enterprise, because in today's society they are such big things, and if you can say you've been involved in a creation of a product or a service, then I think that could be amazing, and something that it can help you grow as a person as well. You know, someone who might not be as confident in themselves and they're suddenly with this group of people who are motivating each other, encouraging each other and driving each other to come up with something amazing, it can help them grow and hopefully come out of their shell, and who knows what ideas someone might have buried inside them. You know.
Great, thank you. Again, as the president of the Students' Union, what advice and maybe tips, guidance would you give to students if they were thinking of getting involved in enterprise or entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I mean, I'd perhaps say do a bit of research on it. You know, find out that it's not that scary of a term, and and in your head you're probably thinking it involves a lot more than what it actually does. I think people think that they're not qualified enough or they don't have the right skills for it, and I think that anyone can do it. You never know how big it can grow. You might think you've got a really small idea or a not so good idea, but have the conversation with someone, whether it be a staff member, Students' Union or a friend. Anyone might have an idea that you can combine with yours that can be taken off into something bigger and better. And who knows, we could be one of the Students' Unions winning awards in the future if someone has got a brilliant idea out there. We can help them with and we can support them with. Yeah,
great. And my final question links into that actually. Obviously, as a Student' Union president, you're only able to do that for a certain period of time before you move on to other things. But what would you say would be your future aspirations or future vision in relation to enterprise and entrepreneurship for Newman University and for the students here?
I mean, I think I'd like to see students constantly coming up with their ideas. I'd like to see the enterprise society grow once it's been developed and gotten itself off the ground. I'd like to see enterprise be a big thing within university and the Students' Union in both strategic plans and long-term futures. Whether there can be something built onto campus, whether it be an enterprise facility where people can go and they can any time of the day they can go in there, they can meet up with people, they can do research in there, they can perhaps start to put together their ideas. But yeah, I think an enterprise facility at Newman would be incredible for us to get to that point. I think it'd be amazing.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you.